This is an installation video on how to change the timing belt on the UV2400 and H4 models. To prepare your printer for the installation of the timing belt, first we must power the printer into test mode. Second, lower the print bed to its lowest position by holding the down key on the remote control. Next, we're going to release the print carriage by holding down the auto height key for 3 seconds. Then, once the carriage is released, power up the printer pushing down the red button. Then unplug the USB and power cord and then remove the top printer cover from the printer. You must push all inks back into the ink bag, leaving the dampers out and wrapped in a lint-free paper towel, as well as to remember to cover the print head with a paper towel as well. Also, double check and make sure that the UV lamp cable is removed from the UV lamp. Now we're ready to install the new timing belt. The first step we're going to do in installation of the new timing belt is to remove the 2 screws from the ink tubing rising bracket inside the print carriage. Now place the ink riser bracket to the right side of the printer. Next, we're going to remove the top black plate on the printer frame. There's going to be a total of 3 Phillips print head screws that hold this plate in place. Gently place this plate to the back of the printer, very carefully not to damage any of the flex cables. Next, we're going to remove the silver top printer frame rail by removing the Phillips screw on the left side. This part we can remove and place on the printer bed. Next, we're going to remove the encoder strip from the carriage. Gently pull the encoder strip to the right and pull to the left and place to the left on the side of the printer frame. Next, now we're going to remove the front printer frame rail, which is held in place by 3 Phillips screws. Gently place the front printer frame rail to the front of the printer. Be very careful with the auto height sensors. Next, the print carriage will drop and flip down. Now we're going to remove the timing belt from the CR motor. Gently pull to the right to remove the timing belt from the CR motor. Next, we're going to remove the timing belt from the timing belt housing. We're going to gently pull down so that the white plastic wheel removes from the timing belt housing. Next, we're going to remove the timing belt from the back of the groove of the print carriage. Now we're going to reinstall the new timing belt. With the timing belt, double check to make sure that the grooves are facing inward and that there's no twists anywhere on the belt. Next, identify on the timing belt where there's a double-sided groove. The double-sided groove will be placed in the back of the print carriage. This will drive the carriage from left to right. Double check to make sure that there's no twist in the belts by holding the belt with your hands from left to right. Also make sure that the belt is flipping forward towards you so that it fits in the groove on the back of the carriage. Now, reinstall the white plastic gear over the timing belt and place back inside the housing. The white plastic wheel will fit inside the groove for the timing belt housing. Now, once the wheel is back in place in the housing, we're going to reinstall the belt over the CR motor. Double check and make sure that the timing belt is underneath the flex cables. Pull the timing belt to the right again and place over the CR motor. Now, flip the carriage backwards and move from left to right to ensure that the carriage is moving smoothly on the rail. Now we're going to reinstall the front printer frame rail. You will have to line up the grooves on the left and right side for the rail to sit flush. Then reinstall the 3 Phillips screws that hold the rail in place. Once we have the front printer frame rail installed again, now we're going to reinstall the encoder strip. We're going to feed the encoder strip through the back of the print carriage sensor and loop on the right side hook of the printer frame. So we're going to look behind the carriage and we're going to feed the encoder strip back through the opening for the carriage sensor. Pull to the right side and loop over the encoder strip hook on the right side. Double check that the carriage moves left to right smoothly again before we reinstall the top plates. Next, we're going to reinstall the top printer frame rail. It will match up to the grooves on the top of the printer frame, and reinstall 1 Phillips screw on the left side. Next, we're going to install the black top plate for the frame rail. Which will reinstall with 3 Phillips screws. You may have to hold this rail down as you install the Phillips screws. Next, we're going to reinstall the ink riser bracket onto the carriage. Now that we have the ink riser bracket installed, we can reinstall the UV lamp. Also double check to make sure the carriage still moves smoothly from left to right. Then we can remove the paper towel from the dampers, reprime the dampers, reinstall the dampers on top of the print head, reinstall the print top cover, plug in the USB cable and power cord, and power up the printer to check that everything is functional. Thank you for watching.